First thing first, let's recap the Y. To perform a Y, we want to step in front of us with the toes facing away from where our bum is looking at. Then we're going to place one or both hands on the floor, fingers facing away, and push with the front leg, leading with a straight back leg up in the air, trying to land that first foot as far away from the hands as possible. For the front or inverted Y, you want to work on your hand placement first. You're gonna lunge and place the hand on the same side as the front leg on the floor, fingers facing sideways or backwards. This should remind you of what we do when we enter a spiral. Keep the back leg bent and up in the air, trying to look at it with your eyes. This arching and straightening of the spine is extremely important. If you don't do it, your inverted Y will end up very closed, not necessarily wrong, but not necessarily either the visual we want to achieve. So again, as you place your hand down, look at the back bent leg, trying to keep that back hip as open, extended as possible. Time to add a small jump. So once you have your hand down, you're gonna place the second hand on the floor just to make this easier, and try to push on the front leg so as to perform a 90-degree rotation. Your toes should land behind your hands. And for now, you're trying to make that jump very efficient, keeping the arch, keeping the gaze towards the back bent leg. Once you have that, you can allow more momentum to lead you into more of a spirally movement and try to only bring one hand on the floor. The other hand will have to face the ceiling for extra support. You may try different hand position and find the one that actually makes the floating easier. One common mistake in acrobatics is to think that the party is over the moment the first foot lands. And so we don't pay attention to what the second leg could do if we shifted our attention to it. What happens here when we do that is that the movement becomes very short. Instead, you want to think that the second leg keeps traveling. It kicks once you have landed, and this is going to give the whole movement 1 or 2 more seconds and make it look much better. The second thing you want to keep in mind is that we all tend to try to reach for height when we go for an acrobatic as simple as a cartwheel, and instead we want to try to cover the whole length of the room that we have at our disposal. When you shoot for height, you will tend to land abruptly on the floor. Instead, you want the curve of the trajectory of that foot to be as flat as possible, long but not high. Once you have all this, you can maximize the rotation by turning your fingers backwards instead of sideways and gain a few split seconds in the air and a longer shape in the process.